I'm Samantha Brown, professional organizer, decluttering specialist, and business coach. I created Pro Organizers Coach podcast to empower you to reach new heights in your business. I am on a mission to build a supportive sisterhood of passionate professional organizers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, this podcast is for you. Hey, friend, welcome back to the Pro Organizers Coach podcast and YouTube channel. Today is an extremely special and exciting episode. I've got Miss Amanda from my community. She did one-on-one coaching with me, and then it led her into the community, and she's done a few other things with me, but she has now had her business for a little under a year. And so I wanted you all to hear from her what she's learned, all of the good things that you learn in that first year of launching your business. But thank you, Amanda, for coming on the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I've been listening to you from day one. So then to actually be on this, oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
I love it. Okay, so tell everyone real quick, your name, the name of your business, and where you're located.
Sure. My name is Amanda Rivera. My business is Tidy Red. Red is based off of a playful hair aspect of mine. It's also been my nickname for years. So that's why I went with Tidy Red. And I'm based in North Jersey right now.
Love it. And then, okay, so whenever you first, let's go back to the beginning and then we'll kind of work our way forward. So whenever you first decided, okay, I'm going to start this business, and FYI, you have a baby at home. So just for all the women out there that are like, oh, I have a young kid, I can't do this. You are doing it with a toddler, a very young, what is she, 1.5?
She'll be 2 in March.
Okay, yeah. So yes, very young. So this first whole, she was a year old as you're doing this. So but yeah, so when we first met, you were like, I hate social media. I want nothing to do with anything online. I don't know how to do anything online. I just want to help older people. You had this very kind of thought in your mind of this is who I want to help and this is what I want to do. But it also came with a few things that I was like, oh, we're going to have to work through a couple of these things for your business to actually expand and grow. And so take me back to then, what was it like when when you first reached out, we first started doing the one-on-one coaching?
Yeah. So before I actually reached out to you, I tried to take as much information as I could for free. So
yes.
Podcasts, I watched videos. I was listening to your podcast and I think I asked you questions before I began, can I fit into this community, blah, blah, blah. And before I did that, just, I wasted so much time, so much energy, and so much money trying to figure it out on my own. So I probably got to you 6 months into me being like, I'm going to start a business. And I already made mistakes that you helped me fix. I spent thousands of dollars on a website that I can't even, I don't know how to do it. I still don't know how to do it. And if it's dang, if I just didn't take those 6 months to try and do it myself, I think I would have been much further along. But anyways, finally, listened to your podcast, reached out to you, and then started taking your courses. And it was what pivoted and helped me move in the right direction quickly. I think after working with you, I launched the business 3 months after.
Yeah, if that, because we started working, I think our first coaching was at the end of January. You didn't want to launch till the middle of February, and you were launched and going within probably 2 months actually from the time that, and now that you say that thing about the website, any of you that are listening to me right now, please do not go pay someone thousands of dollars to do your website or your SEO stuff, because all of that, A, is in the courses. At least try mine that are just a couple hundred before you go spending thousands for someone else. And the other thing too, that a lot of people that I have coached have ran into is exactly what you said. Oh, someone did it for me, but now I don't know how to edit it. I don't know how to fix it or add to it, or it's almost like you don't even have your own website. It's like you have something that was created for you at one point, but then if you want to add photos or if you want to edit your messaging or whatever it is, you should be able to go in and do that super simply. And when someone else does it for you, they only allow you typically what, 3 edits or something, and then that's it. Like, you're stuck with that.
100%. Yeah. So again, learn from my mistakes.
Right.
But yeah, then after talking to you, I guess we started talking in January. February 22nd, I launched Tidy. And yeah, February will be a year. And it's so crazy because you make us do a really detailed vision for who you are, who your ideal client is. Like I named her, I had her hair, what she wore, what she looked like. And I'm working with these people. I'm like, holy cow, did I manifest this for myself?
Yes.
Was wild. And again, I would have never had those like aha moments if I didn't do the work ahead of time. And I'm glad I took your courses. One, it's affordable. Two, the ease of reaching out to you for any type of question. And again, for me, it was the time management that you saved. I was outsourcing things to the incorrect people, right? Just by coming to you.
Is all together. Well,
Yeah.
and then it also makes it easier for me to help because when someone comes to me and they're like, "Hey, I already have these couple of pieces, but they're not pieces that I or, platforms I know or any of that," it's very hard for me to be able to help. Where if it's the stuff that I've helped with or that, through the courses and stuff, I'm like, "Oh, girl, I got you. Let me go to the back end." Like, I'm able to answer the questions more when it's the stuff that I'm used to working with, because every platform out there, we all know, is so different and so hard to learn new platforms for sure. So, yeah, so then and then the other question too, which honestly, like, I thought was the sweetest, most amazing thing ever. So, what the question you had asked me was like, "Hey, do I need to be a Christian to be in your community?" And to me, it kind of I was like, "Absolutely not." Like, whatsoever. Like, I love God, I believe in God, but I also believe in, like, helping everyone. Like, it's not about just being a Christian. But what I love about it is at our New Year's party, like, a month ago, you were like, "Hey, I know all of you ladies, like, have faith and believe in God, and so I'm actually ready to have another child, and so if you all don't mind praying for me." And I was like, yes, like that. I mean, it it made me so happy. I went and told my husband, I was like, "Do you remember the girl that asked me?" Like, I was so excited. It made me so happy, and not just because of that, but because I know that, like, I know there's a bad stigma sometimes on being a Christian, right? Like, being judgmental or being whatever. That is not my thoughts on Christianity. To me, it's love. Loving people, helping them, supporting them, all of that is how I show, being a Christian. And so and that's what I love about the women that come in is that everyone is because they're drawn to me, they have more of that, like, helper spirit. They wanna help other people. They want to give and, like, like, I don't know how often I hear some of the new girls, they're like, "I'm so sorry for asking questions. I promise I'll give back when I know more." And I'm like, "No, no, no, that's what you're here for, is please ask the questions, like, we wanna help you." And so but I've just seen so much growth in you the past, like, what, 9 or 10 months now that it's crazy, and one of the things that I've seen from you is social media. So, like we had said, when I first met you, you were like, "I absolutely not. I don't use it for myself. I don't scroll. I don't wanna post. I'm doing this business without social media." And while I totally agree, because I hate social media myself, I also know you have to at least have some kind of presence on social media and Google, of course. And so, talk to me a little bit about that and how that shifted for you, because I feel like a lot of us get stuck on the social media thing.
Yeah. Social media, I don't like for like multiple reasonings, but I don't like it because I do know what gets me off track and doom scrolling and comparing, which is mainly like, in my opinion, what social media was. Uh,
Mhm.
so I was like, hell no, I'm not doing trying to build a business. I can't be sidetracked. Not happening, Samantha. And you like nicely, professionally, and politely were like, you're gonna need it. Like,
Just a little.
yeah. And like, which is how I posted. I was like, okay, people want a before and after. And I posted the picture. You're like, Amanda, it's cute, it's pretty, but it's small. People only have like 4 by 6 inches to see. You need to make your pictures bigger. And I was like, oh, I already started and I messed it up. So I've like had a nasty feeling about it. And finally, I was like, just try. Mess it up. See what people like, see what people don't like, see what you like recording, what took so long. Are your clients okay with you doing a before and after in certain areas of their house? So it took a lot of time for me to finally figure out how I like to do my postings. And I'm trying to make it effortless where I don't have to think. So I have 4 different posts. One is a before and after side by side. The second post is pictures where like there's multiple scrolling and a detailed explanation of what I've done. The third is a little video of like before, after, during, little tips and tricks. And then the fourth is a quote. Honest, the quote is for me like people are like, "Oh, it's so easy," but I want people to like know like declutter first before you try to organize. Like I'm supposed to say it, but I'm like these quotes, even though they look like fluff, it's what I want to say. So yeah, it's been working out. I don't have to think, oh my gosh, it's Monday. What am I going to post? I don't know what to post. I just have to follow the rhythm of what it is. So I'm now 2 weeks ahead of schedule, which is
Ooh.
nice. I've always been behind your day of. So yeah,
Which is awesome, and so figuring that rhythm out for you, which
yeah.
you say that it took you a while, but honestly, girl, like, you're still in the first year of business and you've already figured out your social media strategy. That's huge, like, that's a big, big, big thing. I'm how many years in and I still don't have my social media strategy. Just being honest, like, I throw it up when I have it, and then the rest of the time, I'm like, "Ah, whatever." But it's because I know I already have stuff out there that works for me, right? But in the beginning, the only thing I knew to do were those side by sides, like, and then sometimes, like, the little quotes. I still struggle with video, I'm still trying to figure that out. Now, if it's sitting here and doing the podcast or doing YouTube, I can do that all day long. But when it comes to doing, like, a reel or a short or like the other day I did a before in a closet and then like put my hand up to it with the idea of, okay, when the hand goes away, it'll be, like the actual closet. And I've had that in my camera roll now for forever. I just need to edit it together and post it. I haven't done it. So I think, but that being said too, I think that like what you're saying is you found the rhythm of what works for you and talk a little bit about how you thought that everyone was wanting video.
Oh, so I did get like some comments and they were like, we love the videos, keep the videos coming. So then I was like, okay, that granted, it was only like 3 or 4 people, but in my mind, I'm like, everyone wants videos. Let's do it. I went completely off my rails and I just posted videos and my views declined quickly. And I was like, ooh, I wonder like I don't know the background of the social media world, but I wonder if they knew the consistency of what I was posting when I was posting. And then I switched it on them and then everything tanked. And I was like, oh, it just felt crummy. So in my opinion, that was yes, people can give you like positive feedback or negative feedback. Keep going with what you're going because then you can one, know what works and what doesn't work down the road, but two, like just feel comfortable first before you make 1,000 changes like I did. I was like,
Yeah, well, and that's kind of to your point earlier of you saying like you manifested like the person that you were working with and stuff. Anything we're doing now typically is what we're going to see like 6 to 9 months from now. And anything in the business world and especially the online business world is consistency. That's all it needs. It doesn't matter what it is, it matters if you can be consistent with it. As long as you can be consistent with it, you can make it work. It can build over time. But it's when you're not consistent or when you're stressing yourself out and the energy you're putting the inconsistency out with is like yucky and you're hating your life. Are we creating a business if we're going to hate having to work in the business?
oh,
So, like you said, creating a formula of something that works for you and whatever that is. And for me, it was literally just doing side by sides. That's what I could do. So that's what I did. And it
Yeah.
built my business because I was consistent with it.
And I think like also in year one, we all are like trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Social media for me was like my biggest touch point. But then there's other people who would never want to go out and network and go out and talk to people. That's my bread and butter. Like
Right.
anyone, any day. So you're not going to get everything right in your first year of business ever. But the things that are hard, just don't make them harder for yourself. Like that
Oh, that's a mic drop moment right there.
That is hard, and it's a lesson to be learned, and I mean, I finally am learning them. Granted, I'm still gonna learn a bunch, I'm fully aware, like, I gotta figure out taxes and how all that works, all the big girl business stuff, but yeah, like, at least I'm glad I have some of it.
Yeah. Well, and the tax stuff, I remember year one, I had a whole folder. I went in like all with like stuff everywhere. I didn't even know what I had. I had no clue what was going on. Is that your folder?
Oh,
And I went in, and because I had QuickBooks lined up and I had gone through and done the QuickBooks thing, he literally was like, "You just need to invite me into your QuickBooks. I don't need anything out of that folder." And I was like, "What? I've like all year I've been adding stuff to this folder and you need none of this?"
that what got me. I mean, that's the good thing about us being organizers, like, we are on top of it. Like,
Right.
we may not know what we're doing, but we're on top of it.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's the stuff I'm like, "Oh gosh." But again, it's gonna be a learning lesson, and that'll make next year so much easier,
Well,
so
yeah, the second you do it that first year, after that, you're like, "Oh, I got this," especially when it comes to taxes. It's just the first year that's kind of a hurdle. So, okay, talk to me a little bit more about like, so because you came into the community and you were like we said, you were a little apprehensive of just like, am I going to fit in? And then on top of that, when you're, just starting your business, it is a little intimidating because I work very hard to try to make it not intimidating in the group. But, when you've got organizers that have been doing it for a while, I remember that feeling of like being the newbie and feeling like kind of an outsider just because of that alone. So, what was your experience like as you came in and with the ladies and stuff?
yeah. So, I remember being nervous going not this, sorry, let me start back. I remember being nervous, like, going to clients, being like, "They're gonna ask me something, and I don't know the answer." That was a huge fear of mine, imposter syndrome, and the quickest lesson I learned from Samantha is like, just shoot a text. And I did. My first time I was nervous. I shot a message to the group and I had like 3 or 4 people answer me within moments. And then I felt like confident enough to give these answers to the client where I was like, oh, I don't have to know how to do it. Someone else probably does. And that was a huge like priceless help because when you're new, you don't know and you don't want to chat GPT. You want to look knowledgeable to this client that you're trying to be like, I've been doing it for a while, but you haven't. So
Right.
have that in your back pocket. I don't have fears anymore. And if you really need Samantha, you just text her or like call her, probably going to pick up. But I knock on wood. I haven't been in that situation, but I always have had the ladies come through. And I now openly tell my clients, I don't know, but I'm part of a professional organizers group. I'm going to send a chat to them and I'll let you know what they say by the end of the session. And like it's again priceless. It is so helpful. So that's the one part. The other part is the ladies in general. I remember feeling like a newbie. I was nervous. I like wanted to fit in, but I was like, I don't have anything to contribute. I'm still a sponge. Like listening to the ladies who talk, like they're what they just spit out is so valuable. And I'm sitting there writing down as much as I can. But I also know that they will be down for a chat or a call. Everyone is so helpful, so nice, rooting for you, even though they're states away. We're all across the country. Yeah, it is. It's it's incredible. They really are so helpful.
Yeah, and that's what I love about, what I've created because it's kind of what you said about manifesting like your client when you're like in front of the client, you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is the person that like I had in my mind," kind
Yeah.
of thing. It's the same way for the community with me where when I first got started, I had never ran a community. And every community I had been a part of, I actually didn't enjoy because most of them I felt like I wasn't really a part of it. I felt like, oh, I have to ask my questions on chat and then the leader may or may not get to my questions and like it felt like it didn't matter if my video was on or off, that no one knew who I was, that I wasn't really a part of the community. And so going into it, I was like, I am not going to have that kind of community. Like I'm going to have a community that we help each other and that, and so like now to see it actually like being that is what it is. And like everyone's so helpful and everyone's so kind and, and like every group coaching session we meet on Tuesdays, like there's times that I come to the table and I'm like, oh, I have nothing. Like I still get nervous sometimes. I'm like, I have nothing to talk about today and I should be leading this or the first couple minutes, maybe like 2 people show up and I'm like, "Oh gosh, no one's showing up." Like, I still have all of these fears. And then by the end of every session, I'm like, "Wow, that was the best coaching session ever."
I never guessed you were, like, nervous before. I'm always just like, "Oh, she's got her drink, she's ready to go." Uh, whatever your bubble like, you should really be a sponsor of them. Whatever that bubble thing is with the big straw, you love those. Uh,
Yes. They're
yeah,
those nutritional teas that give you energy.
yeah, 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 that's what's keeping us running.
Yes.
Uh But yeah, no, I one would have never guessed that you were nervous, but two, yeah, I love them. Actually, I love like the chats with the ladies because I know I can ask them when I have a thought that pops in, I jot it down and then ask. But I love the like monthly teaching sessions that you do. Those are those make me really excited. Again, that comes with the course, but I love knowing that each month some sort of speaker is going to come into the group and teach us something different. And it may have not been on my radar, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I can make these little easy tweaks. So yeah, that's actually like my second favorite part. I love the ability to ask anyone anything anytime,
Mhm.
and then yeah,
Yeah. Well, and whenever I started doing that, that was about a year ago, and I was like, "Ooh, this would actually be like an added bonus because because typically it's someone that's already been on the podcast and they've done a podcast episode. And then if I feel a good vibe from them or I feel like what they're teaching is actually something that would be helpful in the community, I'm like, "Hey, will you come in and do a workshop with a Q&A on the end?" And so they always are like, "Oh, absolutely," and so then we'll talk about a good topic that's for the membership specifically. And I've had some like fantastic women come in and like just teach and answer whatever questions that we have. And to me, like I learned just I'm the one I'm taking just as many notes as you all are like when they're teaching because it's normally stuff that I'm not like I have my lane and they have theirs. And a lot of times they're coming in with a different perspective. And I'm not one of these coaches that's like, this is the way I do it. So this is the way you have to do these things. To me, I'm like, hey, here's what I found that works. But what have you all found that works? Because I'd rather hear everyone's what works so we can figure out, and have options because just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And even things like paid ads, right? Like Angie's and Thumbtack and Yelp. What I've learned is Yelp seems to be more out west. Angie's List seems to be more in the south. Thumbtack seems to kind of be up north a little bit. But like it's weird because depending on where you're located, depends on which one of those seem to work better for, the community and stuff.
yeah.
And then it also matters, of course, like who your niche is and who it is that you're talking to. But yeah, it's been so good, like, having you in there, and then, like, every time that your daughter is, like, she'll wave at us, and then and that's what I love about it because I want it to be more a sisterhood, like, that's why I call it that, is because I truly want it to feel like as if you were going to dinner with your sisters for the once a week, and, like, the kids are screaming sometimes, they're saying hi, talk like, it's very like that, but we're
Yeah.
still learning, and so but I don't ever want anyone like, I love seeing the kids because mine are older now, and they can't stand me because 'cause they're teenagers, so I love seeing the babies.
She loves seeing herself, so she will keep coming up to that screen and waving. Yes, she is.
Yeah. She's so cute. And then we have some other members that they have some kids that are a little bit older and they'll kind of hop on and say hi and how their day went at school. And I think that's awesome. Like, I think that to me, it just, it helps bond all of us and it helps all of us be more comfortable with being able to be honest about where we are. Cause I think a lot of us sometimes, especially in the beginning, you almost feel like you have to put on this facade of like, oh, I've got it figured out, or I don't really have a question. And I think being able to have that more like family kind of atmosphere, sometimes it helps everyone be like, oh, they're normal just like me. Like I can talk to them as if they were a friend and it have that kind of feel to it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Yeah. All right. So I think, was there anything else? I know we talked about social media and then like the courses and the one on one coaching. And I thought there was something else I was going to ask you, which I'm sure I will remember once we get off of here. But no, I appreciate you so much for coming on the show and for, just like telling everyone your experience because I know coming from me, it's very like not hard for me to describe it, but that's the one thing that has been kind of my almost Achilles heel. I know I'm great at creating the courses. I know I'm great at being very good at the coaching and like being one-on-one and strategic and all the things. But when it comes to marketing myself, I still struggle with that. And like, I think it was last year I had created this like strengthen your business mastermind I was going to do for like 6 months. And I created it. I spent all this time getting everything ready, creating all the content. I forgot to promote it. And so it was time for the first thing, and even the ladies inside the membership were like, "Samantha, I've not even heard you talk about this." And I was like, "Wait, really?" Because it's been all through my mind for months now. And so I think even, even this many years in, like, it's just me being able to market. I'm trying a little bit harder now, but I also like, don't want to bother people or be like, hey, my stuff's the best, even though I think it is because I work very hard at it. But I also love that you're willing to come on and share your experience because I know that from what I've heard of some of the other, there's plenty of options out there for everyone for sure. But I also know that I take what I do very seriously and that I make sure that you get out of it way more than what you financially, because I try to make it as affordable as possible for everyone because when you're starting a business, we don't have tons of money and everything I've looked at, they want like thousands of dollars for a course and I'm like, "Wait, what?" To like, "What?"
100%. Everyone did that. Wait, I have a question for you. So I'm coming up on my year one. Do you have any like suggestions or tips or tricks or anything like what I should do for the year moving forward or like ending this year?
I mean, it's the year 1 is a great time. I don't know how you're doing with your clientele, like, being booked out and stuff, but if you wanna do some kind of, like, promotional giveaway or some kind of, like, percentage off for your first session for, like, "Happy 1-year anniversary to me. I'm giving you all this." Like, if to bring in more clients, and to just have a reason to talk about the fact that you're hitting your 1-year anniversary. And, even with your videos, you could maybe even go back and talk about a few of the things that, like, what I've learned this past year doing this, because I know, like you were saying, a lot of your people that follow you on social seem to really like the strategy behind it. Like they want to know the meat of it. And so that may be some good content or a good content series to put out of and it being all around the fact that like you're hitting your 1-year mark. And then that's just a good thing to remind them and it be something a little bit out of the norm, but still kind of following your social media strategy of the videos and stuff.
Nice. Okay. I can definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other one was I think it was you that was it you that had the video walking in up the door or up the steps into someone's house?
I've had two where I've walked up the steps and then I'm dropping donations off. I had a donation day where I went everywhere around town because I try not to like throw things out as much as I can.
Oh, yeah.
So I used the Facebook groups and I did videos of me going to multiple different houses and dropping off donations.
Nice. That's a good out of the box thinking one of, it being kind of like the faceless videos, which I guess everyone loves right now of like, as you're walking up and doing things or whatever. But no, I think that that's great for, the content and for being able to also promote the fact that you do the donations and that you are trying to get out there, because a lot of people think that when we say, like, get rid of, they
Release.
immediately think trash. And
Yes.
that's why I love the word release, because I'm like, listen, no, no, no. Like, I'm going to try to donate as much as I possibly can. And then they can throw it away if they don't want it at the donation center or whatever. And they're like, oh, I thought you meant you were going to throw it all away. And I'm like, I'm not throwing away, Brand, but like educating our clients on things like that, of even just like, hey, I prefer not to throw anything away, like, I'm gonna throw away as little as possible, like, let's bless these other families or whatever that looks like for the way that you need to talk to your people, but yay, you're doing so good, congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
1 year, and thank you for coming on the show, and then if any of you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me, check out all the links in the description below, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you, Amanda.
Bye.